All right, let's get it. Oops. Turn that down. All right. So yeah, this situation, well, it's basically, I'm going to go ahead and say, this is kind of a red flag too. So the reality is, you're in a tough situation. So, I mean, you can definitely share with me your thought process. Like I said, I've literally never played this hero. But this is a little bit of a red flag for me. It's a tough situation. That was a really shitty situation to be in. You know, obviously, you're trying to save this guy. He should have never been in that fucking position. That's just the reality of the situation. So we kind of lost this fight because of this guy, And then you can say, if I was you, I would say, you know, well, I also definitely made a mistake here. Now, I should have hung around here, and then I probably, you know, we could have finished him. It would have been less of a crisis to heal me because I would have been already around here and not being threatened by them. I think that would have been a better play to do if I was this guy. But the reality is, it just straight up wasn't. I mean, the way this went down was other people's mistake. We also have, this guy's overzealous. I think that means like too excited. He's going after stuff too much. So, if you know, obviously I'm watching this from the replay, but from your perspective in the game, you don't know all of this stuff, but that's part of the game. Is like we have to try to pick up on how people play. We can already see this guy likes to play a little weird. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know. I mean, he's just trying to survive as a healer and stuff like that. He picked up some interesting strategies. This guy, you know, well, we also don't have to always say it's how they play or whatever. This guy might be taking some pressure and stuff like that, so it's hard for him to stay healed up. And also, you know, there's a bunch of stuff like this too. You know, this person might not usually play healer. Well, he does. He's Lord, but Lord doesn't mean that much either. It's not that much game time. So you never know if somebody like doesn't normally play healer, and they might play much worse on healer, making the game much worse. So at these earlier ranks, I mean, what I did was I played healer straight up. Yeah, absolutely. If I felt like the healers were just, because sometimes like if the healers aren't doing it good enough, you just cannot win. It's kind of true for everything else too, but we know that healer is basically, you know, it's one of the most valuable roles. So if you're playing with like one healer down or whatever, it's impossible to win. But anyway, yeah, like I said, what I'm trying to say here is it's a little bit of a red flag to come this way, because basically they have the power to kill you. They're distracted with other stuff right now. So if you could say, oh, if you know that they're distracted and you're going to put pressure on them. But again, I never play this healer, so I don't know if it's, or hero, so I don't know if it's reasonable to put pressure on the healers here or to try to do something, get in the way and stuff like that. I'm not exactly sure what this hero excels at. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out. You know, maybe it would have been just better to go this way, even though you're sacrificing being in the game, in the brawl right away. You're sacrificing some time, but it's a much safer position. But yeah, the fight's basically already lost, so it's a tough position. All right. So this is an interesting spot to be in the game as well. Ever since you had 2 people die on your team, I mean, it's over. You're not going to come back from this. There's no ultimates, so there's no way to come back. So you basically want to die as quick as possible and regroup. I mean, that's how I approach it. That's not how everybody approaches it. Some people, you know, they'll survive and they'll hang out back here, but since the game is so time based, you know, the time is pretty short, to be honest, especially on these domination matches. So that's my approach. Unless you have a really good strategy to stay alive. You know, a lot of times people stay alive just to get killed 10 seconds later, so then you're just wasting a bunch of time, right? So yeah, just bringing that up. Yeah, like she's about to die, and you know, this guy can actually get away because no one's focused on him, so he can just get away. But in these lobbies, yeah, it will happen very often. People don't realize that. See, he's struggling. He just wasted a bunch of time between when he first could have died or immediately tried to leave. He's trying to, you know, as if he's going to control this space with absolutely nobody with him, and the entire team can easily collapse on him. Like, it makes no sense, right? This guy's struggling again. You know, now he's down to this. He just risked dying for no reason. This guy's doing the same thing, but now we have a team, so he's most likely not going to die. Okay, sweet. See, that's and it's always like this with the gameplay too. You might have a guy who's routinely overzealous, like he's doing too much, and he might, put himself too much at risk. But a lot of players who are like that, they're also killers. You know what I mean? They also can get kills. So it's like you just gotta know the pros and cons, or realize that there's pros and cons to all these players, even if they seem like they're doing a bad thing at a certain time. Okay, sweet. We got the Thor pick. See what we do. Yeah. So we're taking the off angle right away. So Thor is another player. I really did. I mean, I did play him some, but when I was like ranking up to get to Celestial, I never played him, so I don't know exactly what he excels at. And I was always dead set on killing this guy because I hated how powerful he was. Alright, so we took the off angle. We put pressure on the healers right away. We're kind of splitting the team up. So yeah, we just went too deep there. The health was already way too low, and we do have this chick with us a little bit, but it's just too risky, right? We'll go back and look at it again because we need to get out right away after a certain moment happened there. Okay, we just started right here. Whoops, how do I go forward? Perfect. Okay, that works. So we got to keep in mind here. So as soon as this happened, now this is where the fight is happening, right? But really, my mind is thinking about this. I know that this is happening right here, but I actually don't. Whether or not I will get this kill is not really my main focus. That's like if things happen to go that way, then I'll try to secure the kill. But my goal is to be a part of this. So that's what I'm keeping my awareness on. And what I can tell is my position relative to the spot that matters more. There's stuff in the way, right? So that means I'm not getting healing, and I can't see anybody helping me with this DPS either. So I got no heals, no DPS. And yeah, we can tell pretty early on from your perspective as well that he's getting help from this chick. And then we got a DPS right here too. So right off the bat, because when I was watching your perspective, I could kind of tell that he's getting help, and I couldn't feel any help from me yet. We can see that this player does try to heal you, but this isn't enough healing either. We also gotta know that. So this was a bad play right here. To use the move that it's going to take me another 3 seconds to be able to get out. That's why I can't use this move. I have to use this move to get out. I can't use this move to get in, and then it takes me another 3 seconds to get out, because this is exactly the type of thing that you look for to kill players, right? You see, oh, he just used his move, getaway move. Now he can't get out. It's time to collapse on him and make sure we kill him right now, And this person, a very strong healer. Right, this one. So very, very powerful. That's what I realized as well. It's hard to realize this in real time in the game, but we do need to do that. This is incredibly powerful. It's similar to how I was saying Thor is really powerful, because basically Thor is so powerful that you can't 1v1 ever. You have to change your whole playstyle to make sure nobody is ever alone anywhere near Thor, because it's like a guaranteed kill, and it's a fast kill. So this is a similar thing. Anytime we're dealing with a situation, she can literally instantly teleport through walls at a good distance, put up a fucking barricade, heal him like crazy, offer a bunch of damage. She can even go Fox mode. It's incredibly powerful, right? So we're taking way too big of a risk if we know that this character exists. But even without this character, it was too much. And I already explained it, right? Our goal was to get out anyway. Basically, you used like a trapping move, right? You're gonna 180 and trap him, but that's more effective when you have the advantage. You're trapping them because you're sticking them into a spot that's inconvenient for them to be in. But if I'm this guy, I'm happy to be here. This is great. Because the other Thor is the one that doesn't have proper resources. So so just making sure I hit all the points here. The goal is to be part of this. Whatever's happening here, I need to always be thinking about this. And my goal was to leave immediately the second anything went wrong, because otherwise I'm dead. And dying is off limits, right? I'm not interested in trading. The fight just started. We're already losing. I'm not going to trade. I'm not going to take unnecessary risks. My goal is not to get a kill on Thor, and especially, just to really spell it out, trapping him this way where there's nothing to kill him. So yeah, I think that's a pretty clear indication of what we definitely could have done better there. Yeah, pretty nice. Okay, so what happened? So you're gonna get revived, it looks like, and they got. I'm getting a little confused with the colors here. Oh, well, because of your sacrifice, they moved off point. They focused all this way, and then they used the ultimate, and they were able to clear out and take the point. That's nice. I don't really like that use of that, because this thing's about to run out soon anyway. And he died for it, yeah. So there we go. That's what we like to see. Anytime we see somebody else make a dumb play, hell yeah. Or on the other team, That means, but it doesn't mean we're going to win. I'm just going to get out on my ideas. It does not mean we're going to win. We can never relax just because people make really bad plays. But every single one of those bad plays helps us win. So like I said, I had a lot of problems with how that turned out, but it ended up being perfect because of this guy. Because he revived you, so you're not even out of the fight, and you don't need your revived beacon after this anyway. And then because he used his ultimate, then they, were able to take the point here very handedly. And it was very, you didn't have to deal with everybody because they're all turned towards you trying to secure the kill. Because, this is like the value of a sacrifice. They're not just fighting you from a safe distance or whatever. They're collapsing on you to get the kill. So they're much more vulnerable now. They have their back turns and, their pincer, getting a pincer on them and blocking them out. It's pretty cool. Right, yeah, I'll go ahead and get back to watching you here. Nice coverage, Got the little dude. Yeah, so this is great. This is fantastic. That was fantastic, right? That was very strategic. So first, I don't, from my thinking, right? I don't know what you're doing. You can explain anything that you want to explain, of course. So basically, what I'm thinking, like, okay, first trying to kill that guy, we chase him a little bit, looks good, and then boom, healer, and we have all the space to deal with it, and of course, yeah, taking the healer further away, distracting them, damaging them, all this stuff is really good, and then like. Now it's perfect, right? We're pushing them this way. And sort of... Well, I don't know what to say, but, we have all the advantage in this situation. We're strategically putting them into a place where they're going to get fucked. And they did, right? So it's perfect. Alright, that's the second vid. Wait, what?